We're talking about the power of personal branding. 2 years ago, I had to travel to India with my dad, and then I had to do my dentition because I noticed at the time that I wasn't very confident, when I did videos. I had like a broken tooth and some things, and I had the opportunity to do it, and I said, why not? Because I realized it is part of my personal brand. Your outlook is very, very important when it comes to personal branding. And personal branding is not just about, what you do online, what you put online. It's very integral because the world is a digital village today, but it's what you do online and offline. So can I go to my, Debbie, please, can we have my first slide? Okay, so before I go into my introduction, I think that this gathering is very important to me because, first of all, thank you so much, MI, for inviting me. I call him my minister, he's my Egmo, and of course, he put this fantastic event together. But I also thought it would be an opportunity to speak to realtors, because one of the biggest issues that I have with Nigerian realtors is, and with all due respect to you guys, you don't look like what you're selling. You don't look like, a lot of people can't convince me to buy property. Do you understand? If you're selling something that is luxury, how are you position yourself to show that what you're selling is actually what you know about? Because if you don't look like what you're selling, the first thing your brand tells your potential clients is that you don't know what you're selling. Because you don't look like what you're selling. You don't even look like you know what you're selling. But we'll come to that. So, whether you know it or not, everyone has a personal brand. From everyone, like just looking at most of the people here, I can tell you one or two things, but for lack of time, I can't do that experiment. Because just looking at you, how you dress, how you put yourself together, that says a lot about your personal brand. Your personal brand is your reputation. How do people see you? Sorry, the previous slide. It's your reputation. No, the first one, please. How people see you, how people perceive you, form an opinion about you, even before meeting you. I don't know who people here, apart from people who are familiar with me, but people have an opinion about me. And I know the opinion, I could, off the top of my head, I know the opinions they have about me because I have carefully curated my personal brand, right? So if I Googled, you, for instance, you're telling somebody, oh, come and do this, come and buy this property, blah, blah, blah. And if they Googled you, they're saying nothing. That is already your personal brand. That you are not serious with your life, or that you're not serious with your brand, is your personal brand. Do you understand? So you can't afford to leave your personal brand to chance. Is what people say about you. Yeah. So when you're not in a room, what do people say about you? Please, next slide. So your personal brand reflects in every communication online. It is every post you make, every comment you post. So if you're one of those people who you see a comment on social media, or you see a post on social media, and then you're quick to leave an interesting comment, for instance. If I see that comment and I come to your page, a lot of times when people say funny things and I go to their page or their pages, I just laugh because I can tell who the kind of person they are. So the kind of comments you post on social media, even the things you find in your explore page, it shows your personal brand, because it means that you're searching for so and so. So if somebody picks up your phone, and if I check your explore page, I can tell about your personal brand, because the algorithm is picking up your habits, and your habits also, are part of your personal brand. So whether you like it or not, your reputation is out there. The question is, are you shaping or driving your story? Or are you leaving it to chance or algorithm? When I say chance, you're at this event, you meet a potential client, and you're letting the clients make a decision about you, as opposed to you putting yourself together in a way that when the person sees you, the message that the person gets is what you have carefully curated, right? Our algorithm is basically, you're not carefully creating your content. You just post anyhow. Okay, I'm a realtor. You go somewhere, show the people land, which is what a lot of Nigerian realtors do. They go somewhere, they show land. This land is somewhere in Lekki. It has this, it has that. I see that every time. Why should I listen to you? So if the answer is yes, you don't want to leave it to chance and algorithm, then you want to be in control of your personal brand. You want to be intentional, you want to tailor it, you want to think about it. Next slide, please. So basically, what is personal branding? Personal branding is how you create and manage your reputation, your image, both online and offline. I'm coming for this event, right? I'm very tired, but typically, I'm a heels person. I was supposed to wear flats because I was here, we had a program in church yesterday, we're yet to pass 12. I'm supposed to wear flats. But because I have a personal brand, my personal brand would not naturally wear flats, except I'm really tired. So I can't afford to come here. This is the first time everybody, at least most people in this room, are meeting me, even if you know me or you see me somewhere, right? So the first impression that people see when they see you is important, in your personal brand. It's how you communicate what you stand for, what you offer, what sets you apart in your industry. It's the process of establishing your own unique identity. What is your unique identity? I am known for somebody who I'm a lot, that's who I am, and I'm okay with being a lot. I am a colorful person, right? I'm a fashion girl. All these things, this is my personal brand when I'm not working. When I'm working, I'm the media person who still loves fashion, right? Who loves God. Everybody knows that I carry Jesus on my head. That is my personal brand. When people see you, what do they know about you? What is the first thing that comes to mind, right? So yeah, and your personal brand is really what differentiates you. There are millions of realtors in Nigeria, but what is your personal brand? I'm trying to look here to see somebody that, stands out, but not really. And this is not I'm not trying to say that we are not well put together, no. But personal branding is what makes you stand out in the crowd. You go somewhere, like the lady with the blonde hair. I saw your blonde hair. It says a lot about your personal brand. It tells me that you're daring, you're adventurous, amongst other things. What does your personal brand say about you? Do you have the awareness that you have a personal brand? If you don't take anything from here, you need to know that you need to start intentionally taking, cognizance of your personal brand. So please, next slide. Okay, so why do you need to brand yourself personally? Because it builds trust. Like I said earlier, if you don't look like what you're selling, nobody's going to trust you with their money. This is what it is. So for instance, one of my personal gigs is I have a perfume brand, and a lot of people trust me and the perfumes that we sell regular perfumes and we sell niche perfumes. Niche perfumes are more expensive than regular perfumes. That's not the main difference, but a lot of people come to me and say, I want to buy so and so. This is my budget. They tell me their budget, and I say, why not buy a niche perfume? Because it's better quality, you get better value. Why would they listen to me? Because I have established myself as an authority. I have built trust that I know about perfumes. So if you don't have a personal brand that speaks without even you communicating to that person that, you know what you're doing, then where's the trust, and how would you be able to convert that to money eventually? It positions you as a thought leader, which eventually grows your business. If you have a personal brand that is strong, people start to respect you. When they think about real property or think about land, they think about land and creeps, for instance, right? When they think about, say, media, because I built a personal brand, people who know me think about me because I'm consistently talking about it. And I'm not talking about it from a place of, it's what I do. I'm talking about it from a place of knowledge and authority. You attract like minds. When you have a strong personal brand, you attract people who have the similar passions with you, right? People who you can collaborate with and you guys can build things together because they see that, this person there's no way they're going to know that you guys have like minds if you're not consistently talking about what you do. And also, obviously, it creates top of the mind awareness. Toma is top of the mind awareness, where it reminds people consistently. So, for instance, I do media. I don't talk about media. I sell perfumes. I don't talk about perfumes. People around me don't know. So how are they supposed to patronize me, right? So, yeah. and it attracts opportunities. Next slide, please. Okay, so how then can you build a personal brand, a strong personal brand? And this is not just for realtors, because I'm sure that there are a lot of people in this room who have other businesses that they do. This is for everything that you do, even your life, because sometimes you get 1 minute, 30 seconds to prove yourself. And the work you put in when no one is watching to build your personal brand, for instance, is what will matter in that 30 seconds or 1 minute that you get to prove yourself. So, first thing you need to figure out is, what are you trying to accomplish? Do you want to sell more property? If that's your goal, you're not going to sell more property by just coming online and saying, and I'm saying this because this is what I see on social media. Oh, there's a land in Ekpe, is that. No. People hear that all the time. What distinguishes you? What separates you from the Lord? Are you trying to enter into a new industry, right? So if, for instance, you're a realtor now, you want to become, say, a media person or a content creator. What does your personal brand reflect? You need to think about that. Are you launching a new business? Do you want to use your personal brand to drive it? So if, for instance, you want to start selling perfumes, and I'm using this because it's one of my personal gigs. Does your personal brand talk about perfumes at all? Because again, your personal brand is different from your business brand, but that's not why we're here. Is it different? If yes, do you keep talking about what you do so people will know that is what you do, so that they can actually patronize the business side? Whatever your goal is, you need to write it down. You need to be specific to know what you're working towards, so you have a clear action plan. Next slide, please. So what do you want to be known for? What do you do? Right? This is the bigger, more detailed than your job description. It's bigger than, oh, I'm a realtor. No. What separates you as a realtor? So for instance, if you came to me and said, oh, I want to sell a property to you, right? I'm like, okay, I've read this before. But if you say, I want to sell you property, but I can also show you how to get financing for that property, that automatically separates you from the Lord. If you say, like I said, if you say, oh, okay, you like this house, 50 million naira, but let's take it a step further and walk you through steps. You do a video, right? Hello, everyone. I'm sure you see my face before. I'm a realtor. I'm your favorite realtor. I want to sell this property. Look at this, but it doesn't stop there. You can own this property. How? I can show you how to get financing. It sounds right? It sounds bizarre, right? Or so good to be true. You just go, then you go into details of how you can actually help them. I'm just using this as an example because I don't know the nitty-gritty of property, but I'm just saying those are things that can, because you're offering more value proposition. So the other time, MI and I were doing lives on Instablog, and I thought it was very amazing because on one of those occasions, I saw him walking people through how to not get scammed by scammers, right? If you want to buy property. And that's a value-added service. That is something that already distinguishes his brand from the regular realtors. So you want to look at that. So dig deeper into the what, how, and why behind your work, right? Why do you do what you do? How do you do it? What do you intend to achieve? What makes you stand out? I said that before. What skills do you have? So in today's economy, you cannot afford to have one skill. You can't. Like, it's too dangerous for you in whatever business you do. What stands you out is the fact that you have skills from other businesses. So say, for instance, you're a realtor. You should be a good writer. You should be a fantastic content creator. You should be a good salesperson. You should be able to speak and convince people. You should have some wisdom of the law, right? Amongst other things. That's what actually stands you out. That's what tells people that you know what you're doing. It's not a function of just going somewhere and, showing people and sit down, write them out, familiarize yourself with them. Whatever you do, make sure that you're clear and represent yourself in a way that doesn't leave people confused. So what that basically means is, if you're a realtor and sometimes you show yourself dancing, by the end of the dancing, there's nothing that talks about being a realtor. Because whatever you do, you must tie it to what the priority is, what the mission is. What is the mission? To sell more property. Okay, I want to cook food. How can I tie cooking food to sell property? I want to dance. How can I start dancing? You see, the mistake a lot of people make is that they think because they're in a particular sector, right? They can't do other things. You have to create content. You have to show people that yes, you're serious, but you are also authentic. You're showing a side of yourself. It's not just about going to a house and saying this is 5 bedroom, like some people do. Yeah, for some people it may work. For a lot of Lagos it may work because people find them interesting. But for you actually want to sell property. How can you sell property? By building top of the mind awareness, by being in people's faces. And you can't be in people's faces by just talking about property. People will get bored. They won't check your content. So you have to find interesting ways to communicate what you do. And in today's digital space, the attention span of the average person is 5 seconds. If you don't get them in 5 seconds, most likely you've lost them. So what can you do in 5 seconds that will make people watch your video? So think about this. So the next thing to bear in mind is, who is your audience? Okay, so I think this is so important, especially for realtors, right? I said it earlier that the biggest problem I have with a lot of realtors is a lot of people don't look like what they sell. And of course, I'm not saying that. I understand that purchasing powers differ, right? Everybody doesn't have the same purchasing power. However, there's a way that you can brand yourself to look like you know what you're saying. Right? There's a way that you can showcase yourself, especially on social media, on and off social media. When you go out, you want to look well put together, right? Personal branding is you going out and looking your best within the best possible means that you have in terms of finances. You don't want to go out and you see somebody that could potentially buy what you sell, but because you are looking, even you know that you're not looking your best. I always tell people, you can never be overdressed. Take this home. You can never. You can be underdressed, but you can't be overdressed. Because if you go somewhere and, you are overdressed, even if people, maybe your friends can laugh at you and say, is it that serious? People that don't know you will just think, oh, this person is looking nice. This person is wearing a nice suit or whatever. But it's not going to be, this person looking like they just stepped out of their bathroom. You can never be overdressed. It's always better to look, I always tell my friends, even if you're going outside to buy bread, don't go outside looking like, because you can't say, I mean, it's just bread, it's not that deep. It's deep. It's very deep. Because you never know. One of the things, and I'm going to use Jesus as an example because I sell Jesus everywhere. That's the biggest product I sell, by God's grace. Yeah. So, and how do I sell that product? I carry that consciousness that anywhere I go, I can meet people that I can talk to. Opportunities can open up everywhere. So because of that, I'm intentional about how I look, about how I dress. Even if I want to go and buy, for instance, when I'm not working, I hate wigs, right? Because I feel like I don't have a point to prove. However, when I realized that, I could literally meet somebody in the store who, on a normal day, may not listen to me because the person looks like, why is this person looking like this? But I carry myself in a way that at every point in time, I can speak to President Tinubu by God's grace because I look the part. You have to be intentional about looking the part because you never know. Today we're talking about real estate. Your other business, it could be something else. You don't want to do. Sometimes you don't even get the opportunity. That's opportunity again. So it's so important, to identify who your audience is, right? Sorry, I kind of digressed a bit. But in terms of your audience, like I was saying earlier, you have to look the part of what you're selling. Real estate, being a realtor, means you're selling, whether you guys like it or not, it's a luxury item. Whether you like it or not. Not many people can afford to buy land. What is the purchasing power of the average Nigerian? So if you're selling a luxury item, are you branding yourself as somebody who sells a luxury item? How do you look? I said that. How do you dress? How do you speak? So even if you don't have, I always say it's that looking good is not a function of money. No, it's not. You can look simple, you can look clean and still look good. And the things that you lack in, carrying the most expensive things, you can make that up with eloquence. Yeah. Know how to speak well. Know how to socialize. For instance, if I were a realtor and I was coming to this event, I would have come early. and I'll have targeted people in this room that I wanted to meet before the event started, right? And if I'm not, for whatever reason, I'm not able to speak to them before the event starts, I will make sure I speak to them before I leave. Because my goal here is not just to learn, it's to network. Because we are products, my brothers, my sisters, we are products of collaborations. You have to collaborate. To move, your social capital is everything. It is everything. You never know. I mean, there are great people in this room. It's not a function of where you are today. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 1 year. You don't want to meet people and you just came. It's ridiculous for you to go for any event and leave the same way you came. What you just gained yesterday is knowledge. You've lost something. You have to gain friendships. Even not friendships, acquaintances at the very least. So yeah, please, next slide. So you create a mission statement. What are you? Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? The value and transformation you want to bring. So you need to write this down. You need to, because it's not something you just do in 30 minutes, no. You need to carefully think about your brand. How do you want to position? What are you trying to achieve? Do you want to be a realtor that will own 10 estates in 10 years? How do you hope to get there? Because you have to sell value. Obviously, we all know that the bottom line is you want to make money, but you also have to show that you're passionate about people. What is your what's your human angle? Why should people patronize your brand? So you need to work those things and come together with a powerful mission statement. Next slide, please. So this one is so important, storytelling. Storytelling has been used since time immemorial by men to pass lessons, to pass tales across. Some of the most important things that you remember, I'm sure you must have heard them because you must remember them because somebody passed it to you in an interesting way, in a story. Your lecturer can teach you in class and just run through it. But if he tells you stories or if she tells you stories, the chances are you will retain it. It's scientifically proven that human beings retain stories more than just, you passing an idea to them. So it is so important in personal branding to leverage on the power of storytelling. And how do I mean? You're a realtor. In your content, you have to think about how are you passing your message by telling stories. Say, for instance, the other day, Emma was sharing with me how he helped a couple to, I think you prevented them from being scammed, or you were teaching them, which is why I said earlier that it's important for you to, in your content creation, think about how you can make it interesting. Storytelling is one of the things people connect to. Things that are emotional are things that people connect to. So you want to think about how to craft your personal brand, and people like authenticity. While it's good for you to be well put together, you can be well put together, be authentic, and still be vulnerable. Yeah, that's the word. People want to see you from how you started to where you are now. Especially if you started selling properties. How did you start? Where were you? Don't be shy to put, because in converting your tribe, when I say your tribe, the people that follow you, to customers, you need to show them that. You need to give them the why. What is the why? You are building a community that likes you. They know your story. They feel like they're part of your story. There's something about you that inspires them. For instance, the other day during Emma's birthday, he said some things about where he was coming from, and I connected with it emotionally. I was very inspired by that, Emma, because I didn't even know that about you, right? And it says a lot about the power of storytelling. For me, that's even though I've known you for years, that was one of the most inspiring things I've ever heard you say. When you talked about that Ajegunle situation. Storytelling. You have to connect with people by sharing stories. It's so important. You cannot take it away from personal branding. Because when people know your story, they feel like they know you personally. They feel like they can connect to you. There's something about you that inspires them, Even sometimes when you experience bad things, so maybe you went to sell land somewhere, and then maybe you guys came across a scorpion or something. Show it, talk about it, but connect with people, connect with your audience using storytelling. Please go, next slide, please. So write down what your core values are. Your core values are very important because it applies throughout your entire, your brand representation online. What do you stand for? Do you want to be known as somebody who is very honest? a brand that is very transparent? Do you want to be known as somebody who cares about people, right? It's not about money, 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 come and buy, come and buy. What value are you bringing? You have to subtly add those things to your messaging. What are your core values? You need to sit down and think about it. Even if, obviously, everybody likes money, right? But money should not be the thing that just drives you. There should be other things, and those things must be part of your core values to shape your brand. Next slide. Hey, this one. This one is very important, right? Visuals matter. And when I say visuals, it's your logo. So one of the things that I want you to take away from here is to do a personal audit of your brand, right? So that you know where you are, what you need to do, how it can be better. So for instance, some of the most popular logos in the world are simple logos. Think about Coca-Cola. Think about Oprah. Think about Pepsi. And most of them are word-based logos. When you're picking your logo, everybody here needs to have a logo. You have to have a logo. Even if it's your personal brand, you need to have a logo. And when you're picking your logo, you don't want, this is not on the slide, sorry. Yeah, I was going to talk about it off because of time. When you're picking your logo, you want to make sure that your logo is not busy. It's something that once people see it, they know that this is this person, right? You want to make sure that your logo is not, it doesn't have, I mean, some people combine design and words, but I would advise strongly that you use just words. Word text, not too many colors, just one color. Keep it simple, keep it short, because it's important for you to represent it in a way that it is clear and people can remember. I mean, if you think about Coca-Cola, everybody here can draw Coca-Cola logo. Barbie, it's a word. It's the color, it's the word. So it's important that you have very clear logos. Take good pictures. In today's world, it's shocking to me that a lot of entrepreneurs still don't understand the importance of taking good pictures. And taking good pictures these days have become so easy. You don't even need to have like a lot of money to go to a studio. No, you just need to be intentional. How? When you're taking your pictures. So for the pictures, because again, taking good pictures are important even for your content because you need cover images. So when you're taking your pictures, prioritize natural light. You can never go wrong with that, natural light. Make sure that your environment is well lit. Try not to take pictures in an environment that have, there's one frame here. I mean, yeah, obviously, if it's aesthetically pleasing, you can leave a background that has frames. But one thing you can never go wrong with is plain pastel colors. Say like gray, like light brown, not dark brown. Avoid heavy colors as much as possible. Because in your branding, you want to make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing. One of the things that tells the algorithm that people should watch your content is the aesthetically pleasing aspect of it, right? If you check, and I'm going to show some Instagram pages, you check their pages, and these are pages that I know that people spend a lot of time. What they do is they make sure that the content is well curated. They take good pictures. It's aesthetically pleasing. So you want to stay there. You want to see what they're posting, as opposed to you're seeing, I mean, for branding, for professionals, obviously you can use heavy colors. But even in your use of heavy colors, you have to use it subtly and use it more with neutral colors that are aesthetically pleasing. They show warmth. They make people feel welcome, as opposed to like you're shouting at them, or it looks like, you know, there's just a lot going on. You record good media, same thing. As much as possible, avoid colors, dark colors, right, in your environment. Record with white backgrounds. Oh my God, I don't have a lot of time, but yeah, that's. Hire professionals where possible. Next slide. So website, you need to have a website. It is very important. Google search, this one is very important too, because a lot of times when people say they do something, I Google them. What does Google say about you? Google search, do a Google search job. I might not be able to finish this slide, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I might can send it to everybody here. But do a Google search. Have a people card. A people card is when people Google you, there's usually a small box. And think on the right hand side. For celebrities, it's bigger, it has like details. But for people who are not celebrities or notable figures, you can actually do it with your Google app. Go to your Google app, check for edit my Google card. You can edit it and put, you know, whatever it is you do there. It gives you authenticity. So when people Google you, they will actually see a small box. So that social media, people spend a lot of time here, so you want to make sure that you curate your platforms well. You want to make sure that you curate your content well. I'm going to go into this in detail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one is also important. I always say that it's important for you to master a platform. But why is it important for you to master a platform? I mean, for realtors, it will be Instagram, because clearly you're sharing a lot of text and media. But while it's important to stay on Instagram, you don't want to be restricted there. What it means is that you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You want to learn how to use other social media platforms and learn how to post. You can actually post the same content you post on Instagram on other social media platforms. You just need to know how to rework them. It's not hard. So it's important for you to master one platform but be everywhere. Next slide. Okay, so your Instagram bio is important. You don't want to, I mean, I see some bios, I see like 1 million smileys. So your Instagram bio should be short. It should tell people clearly what you do, who you are, why they should follow you. Because a lot of times, your Instagram bio is what determines whether or not people follow you. A lot of time, apart from your content. Include a call to action. Call to action being, watch my new video, check out my YouTube page, whatever. Add your contact, and please don't use too many emojis, especially if you want people to take it seriously. Next slide. So I put this person here. Sorry, previous slide. I put this person here because his handle shows, and you can follow him too. He has a lot of Instagram tips. You know, aligns with all these things. Next slide, please. What you post. So show clearly what you do, what your strengths are. Show valuable information that will attract your targeted audience. So again, it's not just, I always say that any sector you are, it's not just about showing that this is what I sell. You must always provide value added services. How? Okay, I'm a realtor. What are the laws people need to know? How can you protect consumer? Because you have to position yourself as somebody who gives people knowledge, that even when they want to go and buy from somebody else, they remember that, oh my God, Emma is always giving tips. So isn't always talking about how, because you position yourself in a way that you're helping people, not necessarily come and buy from you. So even if they don't buy from you, they have knowledge that when they go somewhere else and somebody is telling them something, they say, no, this is why I should have bought from Emma. They're coming back. You have to give value added service. Right? What are the property laws in Nigeria? What do you need to know when people want to buy a property? What do people need to know about land search? Where are the best places to buy property? How can you invest abroad? Even if you're not the one. See, it doesn't always have to personally benefit you. What you're doing is you're building yourself up as an authority and you're telling people that you know what you do. So when you build a tribe and people trust you, they stop up the mind awareness. Even if they don't have money to buy land, they recommend you because they're like, no, you need to buy from MI. MI knows what it's doing, right? So you need to show, I mean, all these things that are written. Sorry, I'm rushing. I still have a lot of slides. Next slide. How do you post? Hey. Even if this is the only thing we achieve here today, which I believe is not, how you post is important. Like I said, 5 seconds is the attention span. So why should people follow you? When you're posting, don't use any post that has black borders. It makes your page look ugly and not very attractive. You have to be consistent. I'm telling everybody here, if you take the tips that I've given you today, you put them together and you are intentional, give yourself 3 months, you will have a tribe. 3 months. And what do you need to do? Be intentional about your messaging. You're not just showing anymore, there's this piece of land somewhere. You're creating content around being a realtor, right? You're creating a tribe. You're like a lifestyle, right? Being a realtor. Sometimes you even show people what your eyes saw behind the scenes before you got there. Even if you don't have a car yet, I'm just even using like it was when you were leaving your house, when you were entering the bus, when you got there. Show people, you know, things that happen behind the scenes, right? Post consistently. If you want to grow your account, let me give everybody a hack. If you want to grow your Instagram account and you want to grow fast, you want to go from having 3 likes to actually having a tribe, post reels, Instagram reels, with your face showing, with you telling people something that is valuable. Of course, like I said earlier, make sure that your environment is clean. A white background, you can't go wrong with that. Just have a white background that is well lit. Always clean your camera lens anytime you want to shoot or take a picture. That's very important. And then say something for between 5 seconds to 90 seconds daily. do it for 2 months. Usually the people say 1 month. Now, I'll say do it for 2 months or 3 months to create the habit, and see if you will not get at least 1,000 to 2,000 new followers, at least in that 3 months. Because what will then happen is, one, Instagram is prioritizing content creators. You are telling the algorithm that you're trustworthy, you show up. Two, because you're telling the algorithm that you show up, your posts begin to enter explore page more. Three, people start to see you because you're telling people that you can give them value. Because again, your post is being showed in explore page, but are you showing up? And is there more content? Because you can have that one content that will go viral and have millions of views, but will they stay? You have to retain people that come, right? So if you can actually do this, you post once a day for at least 1 to 3 months, put your face to a camera, say something intelligible, a decent background, make sure that your cover image is decent, and do it for 1 month to 3 months. Your page is going to grow, whatever it is you're selling. Not just you're posting what you're selling, but everything I've said, put it together. Authenticity, share your thoughts, your mind on issues. Again, you're a realtor, but you can share your mind on issues, how issues that affect, being a realtor, or even Nigerians. But most of the time, the bottom line should be how you're tying it to what you do. Say, for instance, this false situation, how are you tying it to being a realtor? Next slide. So yeah, I said black borders. The first one, what I said, no black borders. Unclear messaging. When people see your page, without even going through it, what is your message? People don't, attention span has slowed down. You have to have a clear message. Your first 6 posts, people should be able to tell what you're talking about. Too many hashtags, please, 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 make it stop. So now Instagram has done something that before you even post, you can add categories, right? Just add 3 categories, you're good. 2, 3 hashtags, not more than 3 hashtags. And this is for Meta. Don't do it, it affects your post. Next. So Debbie, please can you put up the do's? Yeah, so this is somebody's page. Somebody who creates content. I don't know her personally, but I like her page. You can clearly tell that the consistent color is pink, and she maintains it throughout, right? You can see that she's trying to teach people about the Bible. In the first, this is her first listing, you can clearly see the message that she's trying to pass, and it's aesthetically pleasing, the quality is there. You are curious to know what she's talking about. Another but this is my page, my personal page. I'm very intentional about how I create my content. For my personal page, you can see that I love Jesus. I sell perfumes, and I like prayer. So you can see my personal brand is reflected. And if you see that first post, prayer for today, you would notice that I jumped on the Barbie trend. How many realtors here have jumped on the Barbie trend? Barbie spent $150 million on advertising, more budget than the film itself. Everybody has jumped on it. How have you jumped on it? Barbie and Ken, as a realtor, it's everywhere. You must learn to jump on trends if you want to grow, especially on social media. This is another property page that you can clearly see. There's consistency in messaging, color, and outlook. This is very aesthetically pleasing. She talks about family, babies, lifestyle, and then look at the whites. You can never go wrong with whites. You can never go wrong with whites. Is that all? Okay, don't. Sorry, I have to do this. That black, I don't know what it is. I don't have to click it to know what it is. It needs to show me what it is. Inconsistency in color. You have purple, you have red. I would have thought red and white was the dominant color. I'm seeing purple and I'm seeing yellow. No. You have to have a dominant color and you have to be intentional. I mean, you did well with the people focus. You can focus on people, you have good cover images. That black border, Mujidela, no. You can't be there than that. Because people don't need to click on your content to see what you're talking about. Another don't, please. Okay, this is Beyonce's mom. There's just a lot going on. You can't compare yourself to her because she's a celebrity. She can afford to do this. You can't. I don't know what's going on. She just posts all sorts. Even though, yeah, I can see Beyonce in a couple of places. So I know this person likes Beyonce. But other than that, there's just a lot going on. Your page cannot be like this. And I'm sure a lot of people, even our personal pages are like this. It cannot. Another don't. This Viola Davis, she's another person that her posting gives me headache. She's one of my favorite thespians of all time, but there's just a lot going on. Apart from the first three that you can tell that, okay, this is her. You can't tell what she does from looking at it. People must be able to tell. If a screenshot of your page is shown to somebody without you being there, people must be able to automatically say what you do, what you're trying to talk about, what your colors are. Standard. If people can't tell that, then your personal branding needs to be worked on. And is there another don't? Okay, thank you. So next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are, no, the page, yes, thank you. These are some of the apps that you can use. VSTO and Polar, they're very good for photo editing. Photo grid, obviously. When you're posting, please avoid borders, black, white, because again, I forgot to mention, one of the reasons why you need to prioritize Reels is Instagram prioritizes Reels, one, and your Reels, you should always shoot in portrait mode, not landscape, portrait. If you shoot in landscape, you have already reduced the chances of your post being seen by at least 50%, because there's a prioritization by Instagram for Reels. And why? Because they want people to have an immersive experience. They've done their research and they've seen that when people look at their phones and they see content screen to screen, they tend to have a more wholesome experience than when they see black borders and it's just in the middle of the screen. They can be distracted. So you want to make sure that you post more Reels as much as possible. So yeah, Viva, CapCut for photo editing, Photo Room, AI background remover. This one is very good because you can change your background, and it doesn't look funny. I use it a lot. You can change your background, you can take out a dirty background, just replace it. You can actually say, oh, white minimalistic background, and it changes it for you. So you can easily curate your page with Photo Room, all these apps, Facetune, photo editing as well, Photoshop Fix. If you think that, oh, my face is looking one kind, you want to edit it, oh, I want, more hips, whatever, Photoshop can do that. Scroll is good for Instagram carousels. It helps you to coordinate your Instagram carousels. Like when people slide, you can use different things and you can use more than 10 images. Next slide, please. Okay. So, maintaining your personal brand, you have to be intentional about letting your core values reflect in everything that you post. You need to network, which was why I said earlier that when you come for events, is your goal to just learn or to network? If I'm leaving my house, my goal by God's grace is to meet somebody that I can potentially collaborate with or an acquaintance. I have a lot of places where, from governance to streets, where I can call people to do things for me. It is because I am intentional about keeping acquaintances, and I don't keep acquaintances until when I need people. No, I'm a people person. I prioritize people. I keep contact with people, and even though I'm a people person, I don't even like going out, but I'm intentional about building relationships and collaborations, right? Stay true to yourself from the get-go and involve. Even though I've said package yourself and all that, be true to yourself. What are the things that you're passionate about? What are the things you like to talk about? Think about the things you like and let them reflect in, what you put out there. Do a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? So one of the things you should do when you leave this place is, what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Sorry, it should be threats. Do that from time to time. You can do it quarterly. How has this business grown? What can I do better? And like I said, it's not just about being a realtor. This is something you should apply to every area of your life, even your personal relationships. Sometimes I call my friends randomly and I say, are there things about me that you want me to do better at? You must always be teachable. It's part of personal branding. Stay teachable. You don't know it all. We grow, learn every day. The person who stops learning is a dead man. So if you're living, you're learning. Measure your digital growth. How many people did you reach this month? How many people do you hope to reach? How can you reach them in the next 3 months? Did you target the right people? Like that. Build capacity. This is so important. A lot of people get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life that they forget about building capacity. If you want to learn a music instrument today, you can still learn it. You can, even if you are 40-something years old and you're in this room. If there's something you've always loved, you will be shocked. You may think you don't need it or how does this apply? But you have to also, as a person, and as you are growing, you have to have things that are like high quality leisure activities that you do. because it helps you overall become a better person. It even helps your brain, but I don't want to go into that. So you need to build capacity, take courses, even things you're not sure you need. So as a realtor, like I said, take courses on content creation, digital marketing, eloquence, speaking. Be very good with words. Have an elevator pitch. If you meet somebody, you have 30 minutes to convince them why should they buy from you, or why should they even want to talk to you. You know, so building capacity is important in every area of life. So yeah, watch YouTube videos. You can learn everything on YouTube. Next slide. Common mistakes people make: not having a clear message. Your brand should have a clear message. Like I showed you some Instagram pages. People must be able to know by just looking at you what your personal brand says, and checking you on social media or online what your personal brand says about you. You don't stand out. I stand out everywhere I go by God's grace. It's intentional. I wasn't made to to blend in. That should be you. Even if you're not blending in is not a function of you not being quiet. You can be a quiet person, but you can still stand out. Some people are born with it, but it can be learned. Stand out. It's very important. Not measuring your impact, because how do you know where you need to do better when you didn't measure it? You can't know something you did. Like, you need to be intentional about measuring it. Sit down, do a SWOT analysis. Next slide, please. I think we're almost done. Yeah, my final slide. My final slide. I have 1 minute to go. So the future of personal branding and impact on business growth. Personal branding will always be important, because competition gets stronger daily. More competition, and the reward for hard work is more hard work. So you must be intentional about your personal branding, and you must evolve, because this thing is working. Yeah, if it's working, you don't have to change it, but you can make it better. You must evolve. Use AI. AI is the future. They'll be shouting. I'm sure you'll be AI. Find out about AI. AI cuts across board. Like I told you, there's a photo room editor that helps you as for your social media content. You can take out background. That app is amazing. There's another one, Remini. You can use it to give yourself corporate outfits. AI is the future. Make sure that you know more about AI. Social media is here to stay. As much as possible, make sure that you're on all social media platforms. Master one, then move to others. It's important. You can't do any business in the world without social media. If you can, but you'll be leaving a lot of money on the table. Authenticity. You have to be authentic. Like I said, in this age where everyone is connected, information is readily available, authenticity is what will become even more important. Because that's what will stand you out. People know that this is what you're known for. They know that you're not trying to form. This is who you are. Everybody will not like you. But once you have built a tribe, people will know you for it, respect you for it, follow you for it, recommend you to others. Even if they don't like you, at least when they see that thing, they remember you. So your brand is working, whether they like you or not. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything.